Okay, so good morning, doctors. So I am Dr. Edward Nagiat, and I would be rationalizing on our third quiz from the topics of the neurology. No, this would be the second part. Okay, so for question number one, so a 30-year-old female came in due to dizziness. So it lasts less than 2 minutes and is initiated by head movement. So upon physical examination, noted stable vital signs, no noted spontaneous gaze evoked nystagmus, motor function of 5 out of 5, sensory 100%, no headache, no dysarthria, no diplopia, no dysphagia, no dysmetria, no dysphonia. GCS 15, ambulatory. So what is the next best step? So in order for us to answer this question, so we should know the algorithm. No? So there's an algorithm depending on the duration of the dizziness. No? So very important dito yung data na less than 2 minutes. So this is lifted from Tintinali. So ang importanteng kailangan nyo munang ma-check dito is there any signs of focal neurologic deficit? So doon naman sa kaso, if you're going to look at it, wala naman, no? 'Di ba? So, if you're going to skim through, wala naman, wala ka makikitang focal neurologic deficit, no? So, if you're going to read on the question, so, pag wala kang focal neurologic deficit, you have to take note yung duration nung dizziness. Okay, so kung short episodes ba siya, less than 2 minutes, o kaya kung many hours or days na yung duration. No? So, makikita nyo naman yan sa algorithm. Tapos, next thing to look into is that meron bang ongoing continuous vertigo or kung meron bang spontaneous or gazed evoked nystagmus. So, in our patient, no, so magfo-fall siya dito sa left arm ng algorithm. No? So, less than 2 minutes siya, no ongoing vertigo, tapos absent yung spontaneous gaze or evoke nystagmus. So, ang next approach natin would be the D-Halpi testing. Okay? So, D-Halpi testing, so just read on the Tintinali as for the specific steps, no? Pero for exam purposes naman, hindi naman usually tinatanong kung ano yung step by step pagdating sa mga procedural or yung mga maneuvering, no? So, hindi naman specific ang in-service exam sa ganon. Pero, I just want you to know na D-Halpi testing yung next step natin for this patient. Okay? So, pagka positive ka for your vertical, upward, and rotatory nystagmus, so, BPPV ang diagnosis mo. So, kapag na-diagnose mo ang BPPV, so ang therapeutic maneuver mo is your Epley maneuver. Okay, so kadalasan na pagbabaligtad yan yung D-Halpi at Epley maneuver. So, para hindi kayo malito, so D, so yung initial nito, yung first letter dito is D. Yung D-Halpi is D for diagnostic. Okay, so D-Halpi testing for diagnosis. D, diagnosis for BPPV. Epley, syempre, yung natira, no? Siya yung treatment. Okay? So, if you're going to look at the right arm, so pagka many hours na yung or many days na yung duration ng vertigo, tapos meron kang spontaneous or gazed evoked nystagmus. So, hindi naman yun agad-agad stroke. No? So, kadalasang, ano yan pitfall ng doktor. Kadalasan, automatic, nagiging knee-jerk reaction nila, magpa-MRI agad, no? So, pinapa-MRI nila agad, which is not necessarily the case. So, you have to do first your hints plus testing. Okay? Pagka duration mo is matagal, more than 2 minutes, many hours to days, tapos meron kang spontaneous or gazed evoke nystagmus, hints plus testing nyo muna. So, hindi naman agad-agad na MRI, no? So, hints plus testing, ang breakdown lang naman yan is yung HINTS. So, yung H stands for your head impulse test. Okay, tapos yung N, nystagmus test. Yung T, test for skew. Okay, tapos yung S, sudden onset hearing loss. So, mnemonic actually yung hints. Okay? So, magdedepende na yan. Pagka nasatisfy itong all four, okay? Unilateral nystagmus, walang vertical skew deviation, tapos abnormal yung head impulse test, walang new onset hearing loss. So, peripheral yan. So, peripheral yung cause mo. Vestibular neuritis. And then, vestibular neuritis, ang management mo dyan is supportive lang. Okay? Supportive lang. Pero, pag meron kang any of the following, any, bilateral nystagmus, vertical skew deviation, normal yung head impulse test, new onset hearing loss, so, central ang cause mo. So, dun mo pa MRI. Okay? So, kaya commonly nagagawa yung MRIs, kadalasan, normal kasi yung head impulse test. So, actually, ito yung reason bakit kadalasan, mapapansin nyo sa mga seniors nyo, nagpapa-MRI sila. Cranial MRI. So, the correct answer here would be D. halpay kasi less than 2 minutes lang. Okay? So, kapag ang tanong naman, D. halpay maneuver. So, positive for vertical nystagmus. So, the next best step would be E-play. Pero dito sa case, hindi ka pa naman gumagawa ng D. halpay maneuver eh. So, D. halpay muna. Okay, so next, a 40-year-old female, dizziness ulit. Pero, tingnan mo yung duration, no? Hours for the past 3 days. No? Tapos, positive for spontaneous or gazed evoke nystagmus. Tapos, hints plus testing, ayun, pabigay na, oh. Unilateral nystagmus, no vertical skew deviation. Positive for abnormal, head impulse test, tapos no hearing loss. So, ano yan? Di ba na-satisfy na niya yung 4 na criteria? Doon sa hints plus. So, ano na yan? Peripheral cause na yan. Vestibular neuritis yan. So, ang management would be supportive treatment. Di ba? So, this is just another table from Tintinali. So, pag nahirapan kayo interpret yung algorithm, so this is another way of studying it, no? The 3 differentials, no? So, you read through it na lang, ha? Pero, for me, personally, mas madali yung algorithm. Okay? So, next, what is the most likely diagnosis? Dizziness ulit. Pero it has been noted to be recurrent, approximately lasting 20 minutes, with associated photophobia, visual aura, sometimes unilateral pulsating headaches. Okay, interfering with her dailies of activities of daily living. So, ano yan? So, may mga buzzwords dito. So, if you would recall the mnemonic, yung 5 pounds, no? 5 pounds. So, yung 5, usually at least 5 attacks. So, recurrent, no? Tapos yung P, pulsating. Photophobia. So, P yun. Yung O, so 4 to 72 hours duration. So, yun yung O. U, unilateral. Yung N, nausea, vomiting. Okay? And then D, disabling severity. So, yan, 5-pound mnemonic. Saan mo nakikita yung 5-pound mnemonic na yun? Sa migraine. Mnemonic yun for migraine. So, dizziness siya. So, vestibular. So, vestibular migraine yung sagot dito. Basta kapag migraine, tandaan nyo yung mnemonic na 5-pound. Okay? So, ayun. Na-mention ko na yung 5 pounds, di ba? So, 5 or more episodes. So, 5. Tapos yung P, so pulsating. Tapos, ayun, nakalagay dyan, pulsating. May photophobia or phonophobia. So, P yan. Tapos yung O, 4 to 72 hours. Okay lang yan, no? 4 to 72 hours. Tapos, U, unilateral. N, nausea, vomiting. Tapos, D, disabling. So, moderate to severe intensity. No? Migraine yon, no? So, ito pampalito sa choice, Wallenberg syndrome. So, just take note, no? Kasi baka ito yung tanong sa in-service. So, lateral medullary infarction is Wallenberg. Tapos, vertigo ang presentation. Tapos, ipsilateral, facial numbness, loss of corneal reflex, Horner syndrome, paralysis of the soft palate, pharynx, and larynx. So, paano maaalala yan? So, basta more of titingnan mo yung mga cranial nerves ang deficit niya, no? Kasi brainstem to, 'di ba? Kung titingnan mo, lateral medullary infarction. So, medulla, brainstem. So, ano ba mga naapektuhan doon pag nagka-problem doon? 'Di ba yung mga cranial nerve functions mo? So, yan. Para hindi kayo mahirapan, no? So, just read through this, no? Facial numbness, corneal reflex, Horner syndrome, tapos soft palate, pharynx, and larynx. So, yan. Wallenberg's. Okay? So, basta cranial nerve function, no? Meniere syndrome, so dizziness din, no? Sudden onset. Pero ang clincher dito would be your tinnitus. May ear symptoms ka. So, tinnitus, diminished hearing, fullness. So, yan, ha? So, tandaan nyo yan. So, the correct answer here is migraine. Okay, next. Dizziness ulit. Pero apparently, decreased sense of hearing with facial nerve palsy and accompanied group vesicles seen on the affected external auditory canal. So, ano yan? Vesicles, no? Group vesicles. Tapos, yung distribution niya parang dermatomal, no? So, ano yan? Vestibular ganglionitis yan, no? Yung other, ano dyan, other term dyan is yung herpes zoster oticus. Okay, so, tingnan natin, no? Diba? So, tama tayo. Vestibular ganglionitis, herpes zoster oticus. Okay, so meron siyang facial nerve palsy, tapos bingi, nahihilo, tapos group vesicles sa external auditory canal. So, antiviral yan with acyclovir. Okay. Next, perilymph fistula. So, pampalito to sa choices. Pero ang clincher dito is head trauma, flying, scuba diving, severe straining, heavy lifting, coughing, sneezing. So, straining, no? Basta, pagka anything na nagkakos ng pressure, so yan. Fistula. Perilymph fistula. P for pressure, P for perilymph fistula. Next, multiple sclerosis. So, kadalasan to, yung presentation niya, focal neurologic deficit siya na magre-resolve, tapos magkakaroon na naman siya ng ibang focal neurologic deficit. Tapos mawawala. So, ganun siya. Usually, ang most common presentation dito is yung eye symptoms, optic neuritis, blurring of vision, minsan nystagmus, ganyan. Tapos, magre-resolve, tapos magkakaroon na siya ng ibang focal neurologic deficit. So, yan. Multiple sclerosis yun. Okay? Diagnosed by MRI. So, M, multiple sclerosis, M, MRI. So, the correct answer is vestibular ganglionitis. Next. So, 23 years old, nag-seizure daw, witness, tapos generalized tonic-clonic lasting 6 minutes. So, upon arrival, ongoing pa din yung seizure. So, they did the stabilization measures. So, CBG is 100. Anong next step? So, in order for us to answer this question, you should know also the algorithm, no? Kailan ka ba magko-call ng status epilepticus? Kailan ka magko-call ng refractory status epilepticus? So, first 5 minutes, supportive. IV access, hook to cardiac monitor, secure the airway or maintain the airway. Tapos, oxygen, then CBG mo, pa-CBG mo. Tapos, kung hypoglycemic ka, hypoglycemic yung cause ng seizure, correct mo. So, D50-50 mo. Pero kung sa patient natin normal, so hindi yon, no? Next step ka. Then, pag tumapa ka ng 5 minutes, status epilepticus yan, no? So, that is in neurologic emergency. Hindi ka dapat magpatumpik-tumpik dyan, no? So, you have to give 2 IV medications. So, 2 different IV medications. So, yung sa atin tinali, drug of choice is lorazepam. Okay, lorazepam as the drug of choice, pero in our country, hindi siya available, no? Banned yan, di ba? Yan yung Ativan, di ba? So, di ba, if you have heard yung issue, di ba, yung Ativan gang, gumamit sila ng lorazepam para makapang-rape, di ba? So, sideline, lang yun, side comment lang, pero just so you know, pag tinanong ni Tintinali yung drug of choice sa seizure, lorazepam, pero in our country, in your practice, dito sa Philippines, hindi yan available, ha? So, tandaan nyo parehas yung dosage. Lorazepam or diazepam, tapos hahaluan mo siya ng either one of the following, fosphenytoin, phenytoin, levetiracetam. Okay? Tapos, intubate mo na yan kasi status epilepticus ka, di ba? So, secure mo yung airway. Then, pag hindi nakuha sa dalawang IV anti-epileptics, refractory status epilepticus yun. So, may 3 drugs dyan, propofol drip, midazolam drip, phenobarbital drip, ketamine drip. Okay? Pero sa Tintinali, specifically naka-mention doon yung first line sa refractory status epilepticus is propofol drip. Okay, so we would go through that later. Pero tandaan nyo, propofol drip. Ang first line sa refractory status epilepticus. Okay? So, the best answer here is lorazepam plus fosphenytoin. So, based do sa algorithm. Okay? Next, seizure ulit. Pero 1 minute lang yung duration. Tapos may regain of consciousness pero meron siyang new onset focal neurologic deficit. Pinalabs mo, normal daw. Tapos wala namang recurrence. Okay, tapos umokay eventually yung focal neurologic deficit. So yan yung typical TADS paralysis. Okay? So, transient focal neurologic deficit siya after seizure. So, it resolves within 48 hours. So, other term dyan is yung post-ictal deficits, no? So, yun yung mga pwedeng other terms na gamitin. Post-ictal paralysis, okay? Post-ictal deficit. So, yan. TADS paralysis. Yung pseudo-seizure, kadalasan yan mga psych patients, no? So, yun, alam na alam nyo yan, yung kalokohan ng mga pasyente, yung nagsisisure, kunwari, tapos inangat mo yung kamay, binagsak mo sa muka, iniwas sa muka. Pseudo-seizure yan. So, yung mga nagpapanggap na seizure, pseudo-seizure yun. So, psychiatric yung cause dyan. CVD infarct, obvious naman yan. Siyempre, meron kang focal neurologic deficit talaga. Tapos, kung ang MRI mo, merong nakitang finding, so ang sagot dito sa question na to is CVD infarct. Kaso yung naka-mention dito is unremarkable. So, infarct is not the answer. Alcohol withdrawal, hindi yan kasi wala namang mention of alcohol intake. Okay? So, next, seizure daw ulit. Tonic-clonic generalized, 6 minutes. Tapos, pagdating sa ER, ongoing. Stabilize. Nagbigay na ng diazepam plus levetiracetam. Uy, dalawang matapang na gamot na yung binigay. In-intubate pero ongoing seizure. So, ano yan? Refractory status epilepticus na yan. Okay ba ang BP? Okay naman. So, ano ulit yung first line? Pagka-refractory status epilepticus, propofol drip. Naka-mention yan dito, no? Sa latter part ng paragraph, no? Current recommendations are to use propofol as first line agent sa refractory status epilepticus. Propofol drip. The next, ano daw diagnosis? Seizure din, pero focal. Tapos gising. So, di ba focal aware siya? Tapos meron siyang focal neurologic deficit. Or focal lang yung distribution ng seizure rather. So, sa left extremities daw, tapos history, mayroong previous ingestion of poorly cooked pork. So, ano yan? So, neurocysticercosis, pagka kumain ka ng pork na infected with the Taenia solium na egg or larvae, so, yan, pwede siyang pumunta sa central nervous system mo. Tapos mag-encyst siya doon. Taenia solium, okay? So, pork, tapeworm. Eclampsia, hindi yan yung sagot kasi hindi naman buntis yung pasyente. Tapos, hindi naman mataas ang BP. Tapos, hindi naman siya brain abscess kasi wala namang fever. Diba? Wala rin namang mention of nuchal rigidity. Okay? Wala rin namang mention of alcohol intake. So, the best answer is neurocysticercosis. Next question, difficulty of walking, tapos stable naman vital signs, pero tingnan nyo, yung lower extremities, 2 out of 5 lang. Mahina ang motor testing, tapos ang deep tendon reflex, mahina. Hyporeflexia. Tapos, mayroong ophthalmoplegia daw. Tapos, pina-work up, normal. Then, upon further probing, mayroong previous history of infectious diarrhea. So, ano yan? So, Guillain-Barré syndrome yan. Kasi, in particular, meron siya yung triad of ophthalmoplegia, ataxia, saka areflexia or hyporeflexia. No? So, pag tinanong kayo anong specific variant ng Guillain-Barré, the Miller-Fisher variant. Okay? So, yan. Take note, yung triad, ophthalmoplegia, ataxia, and areflexia, no? Or hyporeflexia. Tapos, meron niyang previous history ng infection. Most common is Campylobacter jejuni. Okay, diarrhea caused by Campylobacter jejuni. First step sa management is to secure the airway kasi pwedeng mag-paralyze yung respiratory function mo, no? Tapos, very important to take note, avoid succinylcholine. Okay, avoid succinylcholine. Tapos, ang presentation ng weakness nito is ascending symmetric. Okay, ascending symmetric. So, Guillain-Barré. Tapos, IVIG, kasama yan sa management ng patient. And then, take note, steroids have no benefit. Ang botulism naman, baliktad, descending, pababa naman. So, magsisimula yan as cranial nerve signs. So, diplopia, dysarthria, dysphagia, blurring of vision. Tapos, pupils are often dilated, non-reactive to light. Okay? Very important yan. Okay? Tapos, kadalasan ng botulism, ano yan, merong either skin infection yan, o kaya, yung classic na canned goods, di ba? Yung mga canned goods na may toxin. May Clostridium botulinum toxin. Diba? So, yan. Tapos, flappy baby. So, yan. Another keyword sa botulism. Tapos, polio. Ito, asymmetric naman. Asymmetric. Okay, asymmetric. Tapos, proximal limb weakness. Then, wag nyo siyang ililito sa Guillain-Barré kasi ang Guillain-Barré, symmetric. Ang polio, asymmetric. Tapos, itong Guyon's Canal Syndrome, common to sa mga nagbibisikleta, no? Ito yung handlebar palsy. Tapos, ang nadadali dito is the ulnar nerve. Okay? Tapos, associated din na related sa ulnar nerve problem is yung cubital tunnel syndrome. Okay? Pressure at the medial epicondyle. Okay? Cubital tunnel, Guyon canal. So, ulnar nerves yan. No? Froment sign. Okay? Take note of the Froment sign. So, the correct answer here is Guillain-Barré. Next, facial asymmetry. Pero bata, 33 yan, 33 years old lang. Walang nabanggit na risk factors for stroke. Tapos, stable vital signs. Tapos, tingnan mo, GCS-15, normal CBG. Cranial nerves, importanteng tingnan, no? So, normal naman daw. EOMs, very important to note. Intact. Okay? Pag may problema ka sa EOM, stroke yan. Okay. Tapos, unable to close the left eye. So, ibig sabihin, yung kalahati ng mukha, kasama yung upper. So, in short, yung buong kalahati ng mukha, the entire half of the face is affected. So, ano yan? Anong diagnosis dyan? Bell's palsy. Anong treatment sa Bell's palsy? Steroids. Tapos, Tintinali also mentioned antivirals. Okay. So, yan. So, Bell's palsy. Again, very important to test yung cranial nerve function. Test for the extraocular muscle function. Kasi pagka meron, hindi mo magalaw yung mata, stroke yan. Pa-MRI mo talaga yan. No? Then, pagka yung lower half of the face lang, so, stroke din yan, no? So, be careful with that findings, no? So, the correct answer here is steroids. Kasi nga, Bell's palsy siya. Ito, 33 years old male. So, fever and facial asymmetry. Galing daw sa US, nagbakasyon, pumunta sa different zoos and farms. So, may exposure siya. Saan? So, malalaman natin. Stable ba ang vital signs? So, tachycardic. Pero kasi febrile, no? 38 kasi. Degrees Celsius. Normal CBG, GCS-15. Tingnan mo yung cranial nerve function. Unable to close the left eye. With drooping of the left nasolabial. So, yung buong kalahati ulit na muka. Just like the previous case. Pero, tingnan nyo. Merong target-like skin rash. So, anong iisipin mo dyan? Galing US, pumunta sa zoo, sa farm, tapos may rash. Target-like skin rash. So, ano yan? Lyme disease yan. Lyme disease. So, this patient has dermatologic signs, yung rash. Tapos, meron na rin siyang neurologic signs. Ayan o, yung facial asymmetry. So, this patient is at the secondary phase of your Lyme disease. Okay. On a side note lang, no? Then, additional, to take note, ang Lyme disease has three phases or 3 stages, no? Yung last, ano na yun yung mga pangit na findings yun, yung mga neuropathy na yun kadalasan, no? So, the correct answer would be the drug of choice for Lyme disease, which is doxycycline, no? Kasi atypical lang ang causative agent ng Lyme disease, so yung Borrelia, di ba? So, yan. Treatment is with doxycycline. Tapos, pwede siya mag-present as facial nerve palsy. Ayan, no? First stage, skin. So, skin yan. So, pwede ka magkaroon ng skin and then fever. Okay? So, kadalasan yung mga first stage yung mga lagnat-lagnat no? Tapos, pagka meron na siyang ganitong features, skin findings na merong neurologic signs such as yung facial nerve palsy, yan. O kaya yung mga titingnan mo dyan, joint symptoms, oligoarticular arthritis, lalo na sa knees, tapos cardiac abnormalities, mga AV block, pag nag-brady-brady yung pasyente mo, o kaya nag-chest pain, so secondary stage yan. Then, yung third or last stage, yun yung mga neuropathy as mentioned. Yung mga pangit. Encephalopathy, neuropathy, yan. Doxycycline is the preferred agent for Lyme disease. Causative agent, Borrelia burgdorferi. Okay? So, that's the correct answer. Next. 12-year-old na doubling of vision, nagtitipid ng pera, nagutom, pumunta dun sa stockroom nila, may nakitang canned goods. So, 8 hours after kumain dun sa canned goods, nagsuka, nagdiplopia, tapos hindi na makasalita, hindi na makakain, hindi na makainom. Ano yan? So, classic picture of botulism as mentioned. So, canned goods. Tapos, descending. So, magsisimula yan sa cranial nerve signs, no? Duling, or banlag, tapos hindi na makasalita, hindi makakain, hindi makalunok. Descending, no? Botulism. Yan, no? So, na-mention ko na yung kanina. Bakit hindi myasthenia gravis? Myasthenia gravis, although i-discuss ko later, pero yung symptoms niya, ganun din, magsisimula sa diplopia, kadalasan, no? Pero ang keyword sa myasthenia gravis, worsened by repetitive movement. So, the more na ginagalaw niya yung mata niya, or as the day progresses, nangihina, no? Nagdo-drooping. Yung Kogan lid twitch, no? So, nagtutwitch yung mata niya as the day progresses. Tapos, manghihina siya. Tapos, pag nag-rest or pag in-ice compress mo, nagre-resolve. Myasthenia gravis yun, no? Lambert-Eaton, baliktad. So, improves with repetitive movement. Okay? Guillain-Barré, as mentioned, ascending. Magsisimula yan sa paa, reflex siya tapos pataas, no? Towards respiratory failure. Okay? Next, doubling of vision ulit. Pero yun, sabi daw, the symptom tends to be more pronounced as his workday goes by, with associated eye drooping, proximal muscle weakness, relief of symptoms pag after mag-nap at mag-ice pack sa muka. So, anong diagnosis? Myasthenia gravis. Kaso, ang tinatanong, management ng myasthenia gravis. So, sa myasthenia gravis, thymectomy is part of management. Okay? Tapos, you do not give succinylcholine, just like your Guillain-Barré. Acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, yan nga yung drug of choice mo eh. Diba? Hindi niya i-worsen symptoms. So, the correct answer is, infections can compromise the respiratory function. So, yan, no? Take note of this, Kogan lid twitch, worsened by, as the day goes by, ayan, no? Usually worsening as the day progresses, with prolonged muscle group use. So, yan. Acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, pyridostigmine, neostigmine, thymectomy, yan yung management. Tapos, take note, drugs to avoid in particular would be your fluoroquinolones, antibiotics. Tapos, pwede ka magkaroon ng differential dito, no? Yung cholinergic crisis. So, hydrophonium testing, pag nag-improve, myasthenic crisis ka. Pag mas lalo nag-toxic pasyente mo, treat mo na ng atropine. Okay, kasi cholinergic crisis yun. Okay? So, yan, differential. Do not give succinylcholine. So, yan. Infection can compromise the respiratory function of the patient. So, yan, o, tinan nyo. Most significant complication of myasthenia gravis is respiratory failure, which can be precipitated by infection. Ayan. So, the letter dog is the answer. Next, difficulty of ambulation, resting tremor, slowness of movement. So, ano yan? Bradykinesia. Tapos, impairment in posture with note of transient resistance, followed by release to the movement whenever the son attempts to flex the forearm. So, ano yan? Cogwheeling. Cogwheeling yung tawag doon, no? Cogwheel rigidity. Ano yan? Parkinson's. So, ang gamot dyan, levodopa, carbidopa. So, ayan, no? Take note of this: mnemonic, resting tremor, cogwheel rigidity, brady or akinesia, impairment in posture, so, Parkinson's. Levodopa, carbidopa. Okay. Next, blurring of vision, 3 months prior, visual changes na nag-resolve, 2 months prior, lower extremity weakness na nag-resolve. Tapos, in the interim, merong electric sensation from his back. So, ano yan? Lermit sign. 1 week prior, warm bath. So, na-expose siya sa increased temperature, nanlabo yung mata. So, noted to worsen throughout the days after. So, ano yan? Diba as mentioned, diba, kanina, nagsa-start as ophthalmic signs na nagre-resolve, tapos magkakaroon ng ibang focal neurologic deficit na magre-resolve. So, multiple sclerosis yan, na-mention ko na yan kanina, no? Ito, pampalito lang tong Lambert-Eaton. Okay. As mentioned earlier, magsisimula din siya as ophthalmic signs, so diplopia, ganyan. Pero nag-i-improve with sustained or repeated exercise. No? Kabaligtaran ng myasthenia gravis. Tapos, associated siya with smoking, lung cancer, small cell lung carcinoma. Yan yung mga tatandaan nyo dyan, no? Calcium channels. Okay? Calcium channels. Lambert-Eaton syndrome. Pag malignant hyperthermia, ito pampalito din doon sa choice, succinylcholine ang trigger. Okay? After mo magbigay ng succinylcholine habang ini-induce mo yung patient sa RSI bago mo intubate, biglang nag-fever, tapos nagma-muscle rigidity, nagto-toxic. Malignant hyperthermia yon. So, ang drug of choice doon is dantrolene. Okay? Ito yung multiple sclerosis. This is the correct answer in our patient. Ayan, meron siyang Lermit sign, yung electric sensation sa likod, tapos optic neuritis, yan, eye symptoms yan, tapos mag-o-okay, magkakaroon ng ibang focal neurologic deficit, pwedeng magkaroon ng dysautonomia, cognitive emotional changes. So, basta nagre-resolve yan kadalasan, no? Tapos, worsened with activities or changes that increase body temperature. So, in our patient, di ba, naligo daw siya ng mainit. So, yan. Pwede siya ma-trigger. Tapos, exercise can also trigger. Pag nilagnat, pwede din mag-trigger. So, increase in temperature. May multiple sclerosis yan. Ito, pampalito din. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis or also known as Lou Gehrig disease. So, ito, mixed upper motor neuron and lower motor neuron deficit, no? So, rapidly progressive muscle atrophy and weakness. So, again, both upper and lower motor neuron lesions. Tapos, poor prognosis yan, ang Lou Gehrig disease. So, the correct answer here is multiple sclerosis. Next, 19 years old male, na new military recruit, nagkaroon daw ng severe headache and fever, wala namang history of trauma, pero tingnan nyo, did not have complete vaccinations, tapos yung kasama sa military base, yung co-recruit niya, nagkaroon ng same problem, pero meron siyang petechial and purpuric rashes. Some of which are hemorrhagic with palpable gray and necrotic ulcers. So, ano yan? Meningococcemia yan, no? Anong prophylaxis dyan? So, tingnan nyo ang prophylaxis. Rifampin. Take note of the dose, 10 mg per kilo to a maximum of 600 mg per dose. Q12. Hindi Q1. Hindi siya QD. Q12 siya for 4 doses. Then, ciprofloxacin, single oral dose lang na 500. So, yun yung tamang sagot. Tapos, ceftriaxone, 250 mg IM, single dose. So, anong pinaka hindi masakit dyan? Edi cipro mo na lang, di ba? So, yan, meningococcemia, madali kasing madali kasing i-disperse or ikalat yung sakit na yan, no? So, kadalasan sa mga poor ventilation, sa mga dormitory, or sa mga military bases, no? So, yan. Kaya kadalasan sa military recruits or college students, no? So, yan. Meningococcemia. So, correct answer is Cipro. Next. So, based from the previous case, ano daw most consistent lumbar puncture picture? So, dapat bacterial kung meningococcemia ka. So, alin dyan ang bacterial? So, take note of this table. Okay? Gram stain positive most of the time, but not always. Pero most of the time. Tapos, tingnan mo, mataas ang white count sa CSF. So, pleocytosis with neutrophilic predominance. So, pleocytosis with neutrophilic predominance. Bagsak ang glucose, less than 40, kasi kinakain ng bacteria, ng glucose. So, hypoglycorrhea ang term dyan, paminsan. So, it pertains to the same thing, hypoglycorrhea. Tapos, protein mataas, no? Kasi syempre, yung bacteria mo is protein din, di ba? So, yan tumataas. Ngayon, kung viral yan, lymphocytic predominance. Tapos, hindi matataas ang white count. Okay? And then, fungal, ang tatandaan mo dito is mataas ang protein, pero normal ang, hindi naman normal, no? Pero hindi ganun kataas ang white count niya sa CSF, no? Tapos, kadalasan niya sa mga immunocompromised talaga, yung mga fungal na meningitis, no? Then, pag neoplastic, positive cytology. Positive for atypical cells, no? So, ganun. So, this is the correct answer. Which of the following is the most appropriate empiric treatment for brain abscess if the source is odontogenic? So, take note of this table. So, madaling tandaan, no? Odontogenic. Odontogenic. Sa ngipin. So, say cheese. So, labas ang ngipin, parang bumabanggit na letter G. Di ba? Pag nakangiti, nakasmile, parang sinasabi niya letter G, o pen G, di ba? So, odontogenic, pen G. Tapos, after neurologic procedure, Vanco plus ceftazidime. The rest, Cepho plus Metro. Okay? Para hindi kayo mahirapan mag-memorize. So, Penji is the answer. Which of the following situations is lumbar puncture contraindicated? So, take note of the table. Intentionally, yung contraindication. So, skin infection. Siyempre, ba't ka magtutusok? Infected nga, di ba? Hindi nag-inoculate ka ng infection sa central nervous system mo. Any CNS lesion causing increased intracranial pressure. Bakit? Baka mag-herniate, di ba? Baka mag-herniate yung patient. So, delikado. Platelet count na less than 20,000. Bakit? Baka mag-bleed, di ba? Mahirap na mag-bleed. Likewise, INR of 1.5 and above, baka mag-bleed. Tapos, administration of heparin the past 24 hours. So, yan, past 24 hours lang. Okay. Hindi, yung sa case kasi 48 hours ago eh. So, okay na yan. Pwede mo na ibigay. So, 24 hours lang ang holding time. And then, syempre, coagulopathies, hematologic problem. So, anything na nagpe-predispose sa bleeding, contraindication, of course. Tapos, trauma to the lumbar vertebrae. Okay? Dito sa case kasi, trauma to the left hind leg. Wala namang kinalaman yan dyan. Okay? So, the correct answer is spina bifida patient with hyperemic and swollen stump. Kasi infected. No? Last, what is the most common type of shunt malfunction? Recall lang to. Obstruction. Okay, yan lang yung tandaan nyo. No? The most frequent location is proximal tubing. Tapos, ang presentation niya is more of increased ICP. Okay? So, that's the correct answer, obstruction. So, ngayon, if you have any feedbacks, no? So, feel free to message me sa Viber or text me, no? So, we are trying our best to improve your learning, no? So, thank you for listening, guys, no? Happy studying, no? Okay, so, tandaan nyo, hindi naman namin kayang ibigay sa inyo lahat, no? We can only guide you as to yung mga most likely na high yield, no? Pero, syempre, the remaining 50% nasa sa inyo yan, no? It would be from your own efforts. Okay, so, yun lang. Good luck and God bless. Thank you for listening once again.